I am so happy you're here because you're my best friend, my flatmate, and a bloody good singer. So what better combination to bring you to lunch with Jess for us to have a bit of fun and a lovely chat?
You're not going to make me sing, are you?
Oh, there's potential. There's all sorts of potential here, mate. You can go anywhere from here. So be prepared, warm up, get yourself ready.
Okay, I'm ready. To be honest, I can never predict how life is going to go when you're around.
Well, right back at you, pal, and it's wonderful to live like this. So, first of all, we met in LA on a film set for an independent film called Rhea, which was starring myself, Luke Goss, Dean Kane, Kimberly Wyatt. We had a really cool cast. So you came over, we clicked straight away, and now we're besties. So it's lovely. So the reason you was over on Rhea, not only was it the acting, but you was also doing the songs for the film.
Yep.
So how did it all start? When did you know, yes, I want to be a singer, yes, I can write songs, and yes, I can make music? Because that's quite a talent.
Thanks, babe. I think I was born singing. I think I literally came out of the womb, and instead of talking, I was like, ah. And funnily enough, I was always singing all the time in the playground. I was singing songs from the charts that I loved, and then I went to my friend's house and we were in the garden and I was singing the Thumbelina soundtrack with my friend, and her mum said, why don't you get singing lessons? I think you should get singing lessons. And I was a very impressionable child. So I was like, well, okay then. And I just went home and went, Mum, can I have singing lessons? I didn't even know singing lessons were a thing. And Mum went, okay then. I mean, thank God she did, because I was 10 and at the same time I was like, Mum, I want to go trampolining. Mum, I want to do fencing. Mum, I want to do horse riding. And she was like, oh, for God's sake, here's another one. But it was the thing that never left me. As soon as I started that first lesson, it was like, this is what I'm meant to do. So fast forward, I was writing lyrics all the time. So again, weirdly, when I was probably about 11, I had this thought that came to me, which was, if I want to make it in the music industry, I have to write my own music. Mm-hmm. Obviously now I'm aware that that's not the case. However, I sort of put myself in a very good position from a very young age because I refused to wait for somebody else to give me the music, and that's why I also learned how to play the piano and things like that, because I didn't want to wait.
And you taught yourself to play the piano?
Yeah, I taught myself.
So this is like incredible, because it's, again, I love speaking to people when they can say, okay, the opportunity isn't there, I'm not going to sit on the waiting at the end of a phone call, I'm going to go and put myself out there, I'm going to make my own stuff, and then I'm going to put myself out there. And that's exactly what you do, and it's really inspiring.
Thank you, darling. Well, yeah, that's literally how it works. And I sort of started teaming up with producers and things, because at the time I didn't play piano, I didn't know how to produce, I didn't know how to record, so I needed everybody else to kind of help me get to those bits. And I got to a point just in my adulthood when I realised that this was the only thing I wanted to do with my life, and I was going to run at it head on. I was like, well, instead of waiting on other people, I needed to make myself be able to have the ability to do it from home. So I taught myself how to produce badly, play piano averagely, but the combination of things is that I knew I could sing, I knew I could write melody, I knew I could write lyrics. All I needed was the bass chords to then hand over to somebody else. And that's kind of how I wrote some of the music for the films. So Rhea was the third film that I did. And the first film took one of the songs that was already made. Second film, I wrote songs to the scene, so I sort of watched the scene and then would create. And
I remember one of these scenes because it was my first film, with you lot, and it was a really upbeat, fun dancing scene, and your song was stuck in my head for months, and I was singing it to my mum. My mum started singing it, so you're really good at doing a catchy tune that people just can't forget.
And it was quite helpful because it was hilarious because I didn't know you then.
Yeah.
So I was in the studio watching this scene like on repeat and watching you dance, and I was like, she seems fun. I'd like to be her friend. So you knew who I was and I knew who you were, but we didn't know each other.
Met. Yeah, which mad. I find is like crazy about the industry because it happens so often. You'll see people in a film, you'll work on the same movies, you haven't met, but if you meet in real life, you think you have. And you're like, oh hi, how are you? It's great.
Literally, I was like, yes, I remember you. You seem fun. You have some great dance moves. Let's dance together. So yeah, that's kind of like how everything unfolded and how I got onto the set of Rhea. And then I wrote this particular song for Rhea, and the director called me up and said, I've changed my mind about that song, and I'm very like open to constructive criticism. So I'm like, tell me how to make it better. I'll make it better. What do you need? But he was like, no, I want you to sing it in the film. Can you do an American accent? I was like, yep. And I was working at a gym at the time, and he said, can you do it now? I was like, what? I was like on the phone like, kind of at work. So I went and stood in a cupboard and was like doing this American accent on the phone. He was like, right, the job's yours. Can you be in LA in 3 weeks?
Absolutely love this. You know, when life, I say this every time, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And that's what you did in that cupboard.
I did.
I'm in a cupboard, but here we go.
Literally, I got off the phone and was like, right, well, I'm going to LA for 3 weeks in 3 weeks' time, so I need a flight.
And at the gym, you're like, bye guys, mic drop, I'm out.
Literally. Well, actually, at the time as well, I was like, I hated my boss. She was a horrible woman. And I was like, I need out. And I was terrified that she was going to be like, you can't go, because they were like awful. And she was like, well, I can't really tell you not to. I was like, no, you can't. Actually, I'm going. So it's just you need to fill the gaps in. And off I trotted. And then I met you.
And what a delightful thing has been going on for the last 2 years.
Literally.
2 years?
2 years,
2 years since we first
2 years
met,
in September.
which is amazing.
How weird is that? 2 years in
It's
September.
gone flying.
Time flies when you're having fun, Jessica.
You've got the best people around you. Now, I know, because this is when I didn't know you. You did The Voice.
Yes, I
which
did.
it's a massive show. And you was on that, and you made a mark. You was even in Madame Tussauds because of The Voice.
Yeah, I
which
was.
is really cool.
That was really cool, to be fair.
Yeah.
That was like
you didn't know it either, did you?
No, someone just randomly was like, did you know, by the way? I was like, no.
Did you go in and sing?
No, they wouldn't let me in. I was like, excuse me, I don't want to come in properly. Can I just, I'm there. Can I just come in and take a picture of me being there? And they were like, no, you have to buy a ticket. I was like, 40 quid to come and take a picture of myself? I'm not that narcissistic. I was like, I'll just be happy with the fact somebody else has sent me a photo.
But how incredible that your particular journey on The Voice ended up with you and your image being in Madame Tussauds.
And me singing as well, so
you singing.
people could sit on the chairs and vote for me singing.
It's incredible.
So maybe it was better
And
not
you-
to go
and
in
you
case
had no
people were like,
idea.
no, I
See,
don't.
this is just, what an amazing thing to suddenly know. You're like,
I know, someone literally sent me a text and was like, did you know? Oh no, it was on Twitter or something. It wasn't even someone I knew. They
Yeah.
were like, did you know that you're in Madame Tussauds? I was like, no. So, because the actual...
what am I doing there?
Literally, I was like, fabulous. Because the actual experience of The Voice was... I'm really, really glad I did it, but it wasn't my path, and I'm very okay with that. And I still get emotional watching the audition. I'm just like, oh, so emotional. But just to see that it kind of led to something else that was really cool, because obviously everyone dreams of being in Madame Tussauds when
Right.
they're on the come up of their career. Like,
Yeah.
But obviously the wax work. But I'd take my voice being in there, because then it's more people who don't know necessarily me or haven't heard my music or whatever, and then they're seeing me again. And it's funny, I meet people now, I'm like, blah, 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 I was on The Voice, and then they have their penny drop, and they're like, I remember you from The Voice.
yeah.
I loved
You
your
had to
audition.
forget Rachel Rose. You got the lovely pink hair.
I know it's a bit faded now, but we'll just
It looks
swipe past
dreamy,
that.
looks
And it's more
lovely.
peachy these days. I had a transformation.
But yeah, it's been such a cool journey, and it's even to only know you 2 years and be flatmates. We've come very close, and I mean, your journey's now kind of gone a jack of all trades, because you're doing more acting now, and I know what we're like at home. We go into different accents depending on what mood you wake up in. We've got about 20 personalities each. We never know which person's going to be what in the morning. And we just bring out this sense of fun with each other. And one thing I love about being friends with you is that even though in the industry can be tough and it can be grueling at times, we always come back to each other at home and we just end up giggling all day by being a character.
Yes.
And what, you know, if you're not going out on a film to be a character, why don't you do it at home with your friends? And don't lose your inner child, because life gets boring when you do. And that's one thing we don't ever do, is lose our inner child.
Never.
People probably think we're 12, but
I'm okay with
not on
that.
the outside, in the head.
But I think that the lovely thing about, and I've said this to you obviously, is you have helped bring out that side in me. That was something that that came out because of meeting you. Because I had, like, you know, this, I'm not going to get too deep on it, but I probably will anyway. But we are brought up in a society where you hit a certain age and you're not allowed to be playful anymore. You're not allowed to be fun anymore. You're not allowed to be silly anymore. You're not allowed to just be an arse and dance down the street because people look at you like you're nuts. It's like, yeah, I am, but I'm so happy. Like, why is that bad? So I've got to this point in my life, and meeting you, I watched you just be so unapologetically yourself with me. Like, with me especially, I mean, and with everyone else around us, but watching you just be you was so inspiring, because I was like, why am I hiding this part of myself? Like, why am I stopping the silliness? It's because it's like beaten out of you as an adult. Just like, go and you have to work your 9 to 5 and you have to do this.
Kids
and you have
by
to,
30, marriage by 29.
whatever, exactly. And
like,
you've got to buy a house, you've got to do this.
Yeah.
My mum, funnily enough, like, big up my mum, but she's a professor of education, and she works a lot with Lego, and their whole thing is about play in higher education, because that's something that's like stamped out as well. And I've learned, like, through growing up with, like, now growing into this part of my life with you and discovering my own child again, and also this stuff that my mum's been doing, it's about actually not squashing that, because actually acting, singing, dancing, performing, it's play. If you take it back to when we're kids and we're in the playground, that's what we were doing. We were just
playing with our dollies to give them a character, or we're playing with our action and giving them a character.
Like, let's play princesses. Let's play, because obviously that was one that always came up. But it was like, let's play something. And
I was always the ogre, but we won't talk about that.
I mean, still are they? No, I'm joking.
On occasion.
On occasion. But it was the, it'd be let's play singing, let me play a show. Like, it was always something. That's actually what we do, but we call it something else now, and it's a business, and you've got to take it seriously. You're an actor, and you've got to be serious. Fuck off. Like, actually, why can't you just enjoy what you're doing? Like,
exactly.
Like, when we're at home, when we find these characters, you put that on television, it's acting. We do it in our house, it's you and me being a pair of dickheads. Sorry, am I allowed to swear?
Of course you're allowed to swear.
Sorry, I'm just like, potty mouth.
Free for all.
But it's, when we do it at home, we've come up with these two characters, these Irish girls.
Well, this is what I was going to speak about. We've kind of given ourselves, we just had fun with these characters, which has now developed into an actual thing we are developing.
Yeah.
We've filmed a couple of scenes of this new series we're trying to develop we won't go too far into it because I don't know what we're allowed to say or we're not allowed to say, but you can check it on Instagram, a little brief
little clip.
But basically, we have made characters that we found fun and decided we want to do this for a job. And then, like I said with you earlier, to bring up the creative side and realise we're not going to wait for someone to call us, we're going to make it and then we're going to show you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's been so lovely about doing this. We've created something together and then we're making it together. Whether it goes big, whether it goes small, we are creating and we are doing what we love.
And we laugh. Every day.
And I always say, if you're sitting and you're filming something and you've got the crew that can't stop laughing and you guys can't stop laughing, you're probably onto something quite special, right?
Literally, I mean, I can't even...
When the crew are creasing in the corner, it's funny.
Mate, I don't know how many times we've run some of these scenes that we can't talk about. But I literally, trying to get through one scene with you is virtually impossible because I can't stop laughing. And that joy that you bring to I'm going to get emotional now as well, but the joy that you bring to my life is just such a blessing. And that's joy that I want to put, like, if we can bring that to each other, I want to put that out.
Bring it to the world.
Bring it to the world.
And make everyone happy and crazy like us.
But that's why I write music. That's why I sing. That's why, because I want to connect. Like, isn't the best feeling in the world when you're either watching a show or you're listening to a song and you just think, that's exactly how I feel right now.
It gets you deep.
Yeah, and you're like, I connect with that. Like, that feeling of not feeling alone. Like, we've all been through something in our lives. Like, I think you hit our age, 25. I think you hit our age, and you realise everybody's got baggage. Everybody's been through something.
And you're not alone.
You're not alone.
When you're growing up and you're kind of feeling types of ways, you feel isolated. You feel like you're the only person in the world. But as you grow and you talk about it, you're opening up and you're finding so many people, in fact, nearly everyone, I don't think I've met someone that hasn't had something that has affected them in some type of way, are going through the same things. So it takes you out of that kind of ego of like, oh, my life, I'm so sad because this is happening to me. Actually, it's happening to everyone. And the more people talk about these things, the more normal it feels and the better mood everyone is in because you're not alone. And it's so important.
And even, especially in things like, when you're going through sadness or heartbreak, I mean, when you enjoy, you want that music that's going to keep that vibration. You're like, yes, let's put on a song that makes me feel good, it makes me want to dance, blah, blah, blah. But also then there's when you're feeling heartbroken and you're just like, oh my God, I'm the only person in the world who's ever felt this awful. And then you hear that song and it literally, it's like someone's telling you your story and you're like, it's not just me. They've been through that too. And then you can you just find that comfort, like you're connected. And that's always been the thing. I want to connect. I want to make sure people feel like there's someone else out there who understands them.
Yeah.
Whether that's we're the two Irish people who we can't talk about because we're not actually Irish.
We should be quiet and keep that to
yourself. We'll keep that to ourselves. We don't want to say too much. But the fact that it's, we've created these characters, and from that clip, I've had people messaging me being like, that reminds me of this person or that person or this experience.
Yeah.
And it's again,
it brings them joy
it's
as well as
and it's nostalgia, it's funny, whatever. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is whatever part of my life I do. So my creative side has actually expanded so much, literally in the last year, So it's gone from I'm a singer-songwriter to I'm a singer-songwriter and I write music for film and then I act and then I sing in films and then I also write stuff and it's just like, it's kind of this portfolio of stuff and I'm like, all of it, I want it to be meaningful and to have a connection with the audience.
Exactly, and that's what it's about, being on this earth is connection. I'm going to do a quick fire round And again, I'm so cross with the producers because I can't give you a present for it. Because if I won a quiz, I would expect some sort of present. And I don't have one for you. So you're literally just going to answer the questions.
But
for the joy of being smart.
Let's tell everybody what you left on my bed when I got home yesterday.
A big bar of chocolate.
Yeah, that was like
Probably
this big. She left me a bar of chocolate on my bed like that.
The questions?
No, I'm not looking, I'm not looking.
It was because you help me all the time and we're good friends and I want you to eat the dairy milk. Rach, I don't know what, I'm going to go music, probably the best.
I mean, we can. I'm easy breezy.
I'm going to go three different things, three different
oh
subjects.
gosh,
Right,
okay,
we're going to start here. Which country was French Montana born in? Was it A, the USA, B, Morocco, or C, France?
Oh shit, I was going to say Canada.
Well, you got that wrong.
You got that wrong, I'm on there. Read it again.
A, the US of A, B, Morocco, or C, France.
I'm going to say Morocco.
You are correct!
Yes!
Yes, and you didn't even phone a friend.
I did not.
Okay. Celebrity.
I haven't got any friends, she's sitting in front of me.
It's alright, I've got your back. Okay, now, this one. Who did Jada Pinkett Smith have an entanglement with?
August someone?
Yeah, it was August Alsina. You
Yeah,
got it right because you knew who it was.
August.
I mean, I wouldn't remember his second name, but I remember August because it's a very memorable month.
Yes.
Okay, right, comedy here. This is one for you. Who is the host of Would I Lie to You? Is it A, Jimmy Carr, B, Rob Brydon, or C, David Mitchell?
Jimmy Carr? No. It's not Jimmy Carr.
No, you're correct. It's not Jimmy Carr.
It's not.
Sorry, what was it?
It's Rob Brydon, Jessica.
You got a full house, Rachel Rose.
I've earned my chocolate.
You earned your
That's
chocolate
at home
that's
in the
at
cupboard.
home. Yeah,
That's my
producers,
prize.
please give me a gift for Rachel Rose.
Thank you so much for my gift for getting it right.
Oh, listen, love.
And it's a pink rose.
Thank you so much for coming in. It's always a delight to chat with my bestie.
I know, thank you for having
and we shall go home and do some more weird stuff after this, but not in that way. That sounded very, very wrong. We shall go home.
We're very not like that. Although there's a question
What
mark
have I done? This was going so well.
Can open worms everywhere.
Listen, thank you so much for coming
Thanks
in.
for having me,
I've had
Jessie.
such a good time having you in, and you're always a delight.
Love you, kid.
And I'll see you later.
Oh yeah, back at home.
Back at home.
Back at you.
My darling, I love you, I love you.